It's time for the final gym. Hello everyone, it's SK95. Welcome back to more Pokemon LeafGreen. Last time we caught the legendary Pokemon Zapdos. And this time, it's finally time to take on the last gym leader. And I should probably heal the Pokemon Center because I completely forgot. Whoopsie. Well, let's just take on the last gym. Shouldn't be much of a problem. Now, I highly recommend having a water type for this. Either water, grass, or fighting type, if some of them do work that, hey, I don't want to do it twice. No, okay. So, with that out of the way, Glimmer's going to be doing most of the work pretty much the entire gym battle. However, I'd be bemoaned not to use my other team members, so we're going to be giving some Pokemon some items that they're going to be needing a little bit. So, first things first, I'm going to outright not need any of these yet. Return is useful in degree, but right now the power output is not high enough to actually utilize it yet, so we're not going to bother with that. Instead, we are going to be giving a TMs for some Pokemon that we're going to need to do so. First things first, TM60 Water Pulse. I've been thinking about this for a while now, outright speaking, and honestly speaking, I haven't been finding any use of using Dig as often as needed, because while Dig is useful in degree, it's not hitting hard. And while Thrash is fun to do nonsense like every single second because it just spams the move rapidly, it's not going to really serve much purposes, especially given the fact that while it's a 90 power move that hits like multiple times in a turn, or at least every turn, the problem with the move is it doesn't really help with Anarchy's mix attacking lacking. So I'm going to get rid of Thrash for Water Pulse instead. Water Pulse is a very good mix move for Anarchy because it'll also give him an advantage against ground types that will be weak to him. And he's actually very close to a certain level up that I'm going to need. And next up, I would like to teach a Pokemon Blizzard. The problem is, the only one that can really learn Blizzard is Glimmer, and the fact remains that if Glimmer learns Blizzard, it means Ice Beam's kind of useless. So I'm not going to do that at all. Instead, we're going to be giving Thunder. I believe, yes it did. Glimmer can learn Thunder by TM. Well, you're thinking, why don't I teach it to Sparky? Sparky's better off with not Thunder, but instead a different move entirely, because Sparky just doesn't need a more powerful Thunderbolt. Plus, I have a no miss move, and it's actually better for Sparky in general. I'm going to get rid of Recover, because while Recover has been helpful, it hasn't been seeing much use lately, and Thunder's a bit more useful outright, given the fact that sheer power will definitely help me against water types, especially given the fact that Glimmer might run into one. So we're done with that, and then next is Return. Return is useful. Max out the power, it's going to hit it harder. Fire Blast is going to definitely be a move I want to teach, but the problem is, the one I want to teach it to, Drag, is stuck with Fly, which means I can't really teach it. The problem with that move is the fact that the move itself is pretty bad. A 2-turn move, Aerial Ace and whatnot. However, I've noticed I've had lack of use of Aerial Ace because I haven't run into any mucks anymore. So I'm going to teach it Fire Blast because Fire Blast is a very powerful fire type move. It's basically the strongest fire type move in the game. And we're going to teach it that. You can actually teach it to Anarchy if you want to, but I prefer not doing that, instead giving Drag the full power of the fire type moves. So let's get rid of Aerial Ace for that, because while Aerial Ace never misses, its lower damage output is not exactly something I need. Plus, I'm pretty sure if I need to use a flying type attack to defeat an opponent, I can have better options out there now that I have the ability to do so. Especially given the fact I have a Psychic type, and I don't have to worry about that too much. Now that we're done with all of that, sorry about that, it was a long, arguative process of me trying to get these teams right. The gym leader himself is a ground type. The ground type gym is probably the hardest gym in the entire game. So, gym in the making. Even I don't know the Viridian's leader's identity. But one thing's certain, this will be one of the toughest of the gym leaders. Also, I heard that trainers like to use ground type Pokemon. Remember those spin tiles you had back then? Yes, they are back again. You're going to be fighting a lot of trainers, and there's a lot of trainers in this gym, meaning you're going to get a lot of experience for doing this. I highly recommend, if you have a Pokemon that needs more experience, give the Pokemon the item they need in particular. For example, Anarchy does not need the Quick Claw anymore, and Glimmer does not need the Experience Share anymore. So I'm going to actually get rid of that, and instead I'm going to give Glimmer, not the Quick Claw because it's not needed in the slice, I'm going to give Glimmer a Berry because it's actually easier for Glimmer to actually hold on to than wasting my time with dang nonsense. I'm going to give Glimmer the Lumberry for now, because there is a way to get more berries back, and I don't really need to worry about that too much. I'm going to give the Experience Share to George because George is actually the lowest level out of my team, and I frankly need it. Fighting types are not really perfect yet in this generation. It takes a few generations before they get really, really good. Unfortunately, I can't find the charcoal items, so I can't exactly give Drag anything yet. But besides that, we're going to be running into ground types. So, let's start the first one. You must be running out of steam by now. I literally just got here. Yes, technically speaking, you don't have to go this way. I just looked in this way, and there's a lot of Pokemon. The gym leader's max level is 50, so I'm going to recommend highly having your levels around this level. As you surf, take out the dang Sand Slash, because Sand Slash is an easy target to surf. While Sand Slash is decently bulky, it's not good in the special defense department at all. So, yeah, we're good. Anyway, George grew level 40, which actually means another level up for George, and actually going to help a lot more experience. Graveler, that is even easier. And unlike later games where Gravelers have Sturdy and you get annoyed with the fact, oh, they survived and then they hit me. They don't have it here. Sturdy is actually very easy in this generation because it no longer does that. Instead, all it does is block one-hit KO moves. It took till Gen 4 for it to actually get usability. I don't know why I'm trying to twist my own words with usability. Man, that sucks. Anyway, Marowak, while that's admittedly a little bit more annoying, Marowak is not good in the special side either. So, really, a lot of the ground types are not very good special-wise. The only a few exceptions being, I'd say... Later games, there are good ground types, but they're not exactly as good. I guess Claydol is the only exception, but that's a very good mixed wall, but that's pretty much the only thing I can really think of when it comes to a certain Pokemon that's good at mixed attacking and mixed defending. Really, Anarchy's just needs all the experience it can get because he's about to level up, and that's the level up I want to use to get rid of Peck. Because the move I've been waiting for so long is so close, and I can almost taste it. Also, by the way, you're probably wondering why the last episode was a bit short in comparison. It's because the episode was a little bit too short. Is the reason being, I got tired. I'll be honest, I got tired after recording and I wanted to stop the episode there. Plus, the gym leader, I know fully well the gym's long, so I wanted to make sure the gym was taken care of short and sweet to the point. I ran out of gas! What do you mean you're out of gas? Oh man, it's out of gas. Full throttle. Roar! I'm looking myself into a rage! Ah, yes. Rage! Worst move in the game. As this is in the Machop. Oh no, a fighting type. Yep. Thrown out of left field. There are fighting types in this gym. Thankfully, though, Psychic pretty much annihilates them. So there's not really much of a concern when it comes to these Pokemon in general. Frankly honest, you have better odds not worrying about any Pokemon in this gym leader has to offer, but Machoke is going to be a little annoying. But besides that, Machoke's pretty much a cakewalk. See? Like, he pretty much wipes it out. And that is all she wrote for Machoke. And Glimmer gets a lot more experience. Of all Pokemon, always get more experience. Roarg! Oh, yosh! I'm still not worthy. What do you say? I think we're proud to keep with our gym leader. Interesting. Pokemon and I, we make wonderful music together. A musician, despite the fact that he looks like something else entirely. Instead, though, he's a tamer named Jason. Rhyhorn. Alright, that's a little bit annoying and worrisome, but thankfully it's just Rhyhorn. Not really threatening in the slightest. I'm thankfully going to have no trouble with this, because Rhyhorn, while bulky, is not that good. Honestly, I still wish for Rhyperior. To be honest, I never actually used a Rhyhorn growing up. I really don't have the ability to do so. You're in perfect harmony. And to be honest, I am a little sad that that Pokemon is not exactly given as lot of love as you think, because the unfortunate downside of the Pokemon's movesets and movability stems from the fact that rock ground types aren't exactly the best typing in the world. I feel like that's one of the biggest weaknesses I have about the rock ground types, because if your Pokemon will cower at, they'll crack at my whip. Animal abuse. Literally animal abuse. Speedo will have your head after this, Cole. And this is out of left field. Another Arbok. Yep. Why are they showing poison types, me wonder? I don't know. There's no logical reason to have a poison type in a ground type gym. Yeah, then again, this game has a lot of weird habits I've noticed where some of the Pokemon make absolutely no sense. Because, as you remember correctly, Sabrina had 2 trainers that had Ghost-type Pokemon, which makes absolutely no sense. Though, to be fair, though, Ghost can't really use her Scab at all. You know what? This works, because guess what? I have a Lumberry. You're making me actually use the Lumberry. Congratulations, Arbok. You wasted your shot. Alright. Enough of you. Get out of here. Arbok's obnoxious. Though, to be fair, though, I find it still hilarious that apparently the anime thought Arbok evolves into Seviper. Man, that thing is funny. That was entirely funny. Ah, great, Taurus. Hey, look, George is actually going to have some competition. Or am I going to use Anarchy? Who knows? Who's closer to level up? Anarchy is. Freakbake it is. Oh, wait a minute. Intimidate. Duh. Well, there goes my shot. The unironic thing is, while Tauros is good defensively wise, the downside is if it hits itself in confusion, it's going to hurt itself for 30 damage with neutral no-type-less moves. So, yeah, unfortunately, Brick Raid's not going to knock you out. Although, I don't like the fact that you're using Scary Face on me. That is the worst feeling in the world. I'd love it if I got a critical. Oh, no. Swagger is a move that increases my attack by 2 stages. Problem, I'm now confused. And you know fully well confusion is a physical attack if he hits itself. Yeah, that's of concern. Because that means that you're hitting yourself in confusion. The only odds is I'm not exactly trusting the odds. The only Pokemon that really get immune to confusion status is a Pokemon of Insomnia, I believe. That's Sleep, not in confusion. Obliviousness is complete confusion resistance. Or is that Attraction? Honestly, there's too many abilities in these series. Oh look, a few Dark-type moves that does physical damage. Kidding, it's still considered special. Man, those were suit setups back in the day that, man, drive everyone insane. And I could go to 43, and finally, trying to learn Mega Horn. Remember that move I was talking about that Anarchy could learn by 43? Mega Horn is 120 power, 85% accurate bug-type attack. It's a move that basically is one of the best bug-type moves in the series in terms of damage. That is why Gangrene Peck is actually mandatory for me. And George to level 41. Nice. George still hasn't managed to get to his last moves yet, but we're good. We're gonna call Youch! Whiplash! What did you say after losing? Wait, I was just careless. Must be careless. We must be fearless. Well, on the plus side, though, that's there. Glimmer's gonna be basically getting a lot of experience, but George is now kind of over-leveled a little bit. Thankfully, I'm not too concerned. Karate is the ultimate form of martial arts. To be fair, though, I did take Kaipon Go when I was a kid. It really didn't bother being back to it. Honestly, I was too aggressive as a kid. KO is not much. To be honest, I don't really see the appeal of martial arts. Maybe someone else can tell me. I just am not one of them. I just don't particularly care for it. I did take it as a kid, but that was pretty much it. I think it was 5 stripes. I don't remember. Honestly, it's been a long time. Okay. What do you say? That Pokemon were as good as Karate as I. Who knows anymore? Who knows indeed? Yes, quite. Hello. Wrong way. Verdi and Jim was close for a long time, but now our leader is back. Now why is your leader back to me? And yes, quite. Cool Trainer Samuel looked about. A lot of Pokemon. Well, this is an experience grind fest because a lot of the Pokemon here are going to be a lot of experience points. Glimmer is likely going to get... I think Glimmer is going to get another level up from this fight if I keep Glimmer in. Although, to be fair though, I haven't really seen many people use Starmie as often as many people would think because while Starmie is considered one of the best Water Psychic types in the generation, it's not really used often enough, which is a shame because a lot of Pokemon are better than not. I guess it's because Glimmer just has similar roles to other Pokemon that I have on my team. For example, let's say Sparky fills a similar roles to Glimmer, but except it's Water Psychic, and Water Psychic is a good type combination. A lot of Pokemon do definitely like that type combination. There is Water Fairy in the later games with Sun and Moon and this is Primarina, but that's great. But besides that, I think the only type combination that's really bad when it comes to that typing, I think would be Fire Psychic. Because you both gain a weakness to staying bug types when you shouldn't have a weakness to a slight weakness to a bug type because then you take neutral damage, meaning Mega Horn hits hard. Anyway, 44 for Glimmer, really good. Leveling up is very, very easy. Was there anything that Nidoking? Well, I could have a Nidoking battle right now, or I can kick Glimmer in and use Ice Beam. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Nidoking. Very, 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 very scary Nidoking. Thankfully, though, Ice Beam, while not being stabbed, is going to hit a critical hit and wipe you out in one shot. I like its front sprite, though. I'm not going to deny it. Alright, this is still the generation before sprites were animated. I was being... Technically speaking, this game came out on Ruby and Sapphire generation, so as a result of that, there was no animations. It took until Emeralds for Pokemon to have any animations whatsoever when it comes to 2D sprites. I'm going back out to heal. So, I'm going back to heal. Be right back. Alright, we're back in the gym, so there is a lot of trainers here that you want to go after. There is a trainer over here in particular. Truly talented wins the style. Yes indeed, the stylish. Another cool trainer, which means he has a total of 5 Pokemon again. Which is actually pretty good for me, because Glimmer is going to eat that experience up like no tomorrow. To be fair, though, I think I'm going to have to take Glimmer by giving a break, give it a break, because Glimmer is a little too over-leveled. Now George is also level 42, which means the levels are kind of skewed. The problem is, I can risk Anarchy with Water Pulse, but it's annoying. To be fair, though, there's no better ground moves than Dig until you get a different TM, and the only exception being that it's not a Pokemon that learns Dig naturally. Honestly speaking, if I did not get Nidoking, I would have gone for Dugtrio, and actually gone for a Pokemon that actually learns Earthquake by natural means. It's actually a really good Pokemon, and it's a great revenge killer as well. The problem is it will fill the same role as Dang Primate. It's fast, but also it just does nothing else besides ground type attacks, which means it doesn't have any options. So besides that, I can't really say I would prefer it, to be honest. Although I'm going to have to give Tank some time to shine, because frankly, Tank is a little bit under-leveled right now. To be perfectly honest, and ironic enough as it is, I'd maybe halfway tempted to teach Tank Explosion just for the sake of funniness. The problem is, the TM for Explosion does not yet exist in this area, so I can't exactly do anything about it. So I'm going to ignore that for now and just take care of all the Marowaks and nonsense like that. But unfortunately, Nidorino is pretty much the best they got. While that's the case, I think they have this one has Nidoqueen compared to Nidoking Cool Trainer that I fought before, because that's pretty much the best I've noticed. Because a lot of the older games usually just reuse Pokemon turns to a degree. Really, I can't really say anything about that too much. Also, a Rhyhorn again. You know what? I'm halfway to the next time I do a dang LP of a regular Pokemon game again, to actually just take a Rhyhorn and see if I can run with it. Because it's actually not a bad Pokemon, it's just slow and unwieldy. To be fair though, Rhyperior is a beast, but the problem is, Rhyperior can't be used unless you trade for an item. I lost my grip. To be fair though, Rhyperior hits like a truck when you actually get going, especially a signature move, Rock Wrecker. Because Rock Wrecker is like a very powerful Hyper Beam that takes it's basically Aurora time for a Rock type. It really hits hard. And let's go this way instead, and hello, what do you have here, sir? Yes, right. It's supposed to show you that that's not the way you're supposed to go, and instead you're supposed to go this way, go then this way, and then walk up. This is another Karate Master. I think I'm going to get away of just using Drag for now, because frankly, I really don't want to spam Glimmer's PP down, because Karate Masters only use fighting type attacks. I'm the Karate King! Your fate rests with me! We already fought a Karate King before. We already got a Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee from it. Talk about Dashi would like the battle. Send up Machoke! To be fair though, I'm not really threatened by a Machoke. Let's use Fire Blast. Ah, yes. The massive damage of Fire Blast pretty much burns the Machoke to smithereens. Ah, it's so beautiful. I couldn't witness it. I want to see an instant replay, except the fact that its PP is so low. There's a move later in the game that I'd highly recommend over Fire Blast that has more accuracy, but it's basically a Hyper Beam version for fire type moves. So, besides that though, I can't really teach it because, unfortunately, that is not available to me yet. I have to wait till post-game. So, we're kind of stuck about the best fire type move in the game yet. This also counts for the other typings as well for your starters if you choose them. There's basically Hyper Beam versions for all Pokemon, and while tempting, Seismic Toss is pretty much missing like every single shot. Although, to be fair though, I think Machoke's probably going to survive this. Yep, it is. And there I go. The higher level of much more damage Seismic Toss does, which is admittedly annoying, but I'm not exactly threatened by it. There are better moves out there that really threaten me, but I don't exactly have much threatening moves that get hit by. Hiya! What do you have to say for yourself? Pokemon League, you don't get cocky. Well, the gym leader's close by, so let us switch our team around and have Glimmer start out and then have some potions and use them to heal my Pokemon up. Because, frankly, I'm gonna need it. Because the gym leader is going to be exhausting on Glimmer in particular. There's a reason why I say this. So let's use Hyper Potions on... Why am I using Hyper Potions against a Pokemon that basically has 50 HP back? Thank you. That was very, very easy. So, yeah. Besides that, I highly recommend being careful for the gym leader because they are actually very tough. If you're not careful or don't have a water type. If you have no water types, you're pretty much screwed unless you decide to go for a second type or have a grass type. Because otherwise, you're pretty much running into a dead wall. So, somebody seems familiar now, doesn't he? Yes, quite. Welcome to my hideout. It shall be so then until I can restore Team Rocket to its former glory. But you have found me again, so be it. This time, I'm not holding back. Once more, you shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer! Giovanni, the boss of Team Rocket, is actually the gym leader of the Pokemon Verdian Gym. He is 2 Hyper Potions and 1 full heal. He sent out Rhyhorn, Rock Ground type, Lightning Rod for the ability, so electric type moves are canceled out. With Takedown, Rock Blast, Scary Face, and Earthquake. Earthquake is 100 power, 100% accurate ground type move that basically hits 2 opponents in a double battle. It really hits hard. However, thankfully though, Rhyhorn's not much of a threat if you catch my drift. So that's it for Rhyhorn, pretty much very easy. Dugtrio! This may be a problem because Dugtrio is a bit more annoying. Dugtrio, level 42. Ground type, Sandfield for the ability, so evasion increases into sandstorms. Slash, Sand Tomb, Mud Slap, Earthquake. Yep, that's pretty much it. It's also much faster, so if you don't have a faster Pokemon, you're gonna get hit by that Earthquake or Mud Slap and start missing like crazy. Thankfully, though, I'm not too concerned when it comes to dang damage outputs. Next up is Nidoqueen. We're basically blitzing him entirely if you're not prepared for him. So, Nidoqueen, Poison Ground type, Poison pointing to the ability. Of course, of any of the Nidoqueens. Double Kick, Earthquake, Poison Sting, Body Slam. Yeah, the gym move is probably one of the biggest threatening moves. If they survive any of your hits, you're basically going down in one shot. And, well, here it comes. Yeah, Nidoqueen's special defense is pretty annoying, but thankfully though, it's not going to hit that hard. The problem is he's going to use Hyper Potion, and if he survives it again, he's going to use it again. Thankfully though, he only has 2, but at the same time, this is really annoying. Ice Beam at least will do a lot of damage. Part of me was hoping for Frozen today, but I guess not. Ironically enough, I know fully well Glimmer can take out a Nidoking, but Nidoqueen's a bit too special bulky in order to actually take it out in one shot. Thankfully though, that's pretty easy. 43 for George. Let's send out Nidoking. Well, I could have a Nidoking battle, but I really don't want to risk that chance. So instead, we're going to keep Glimmer back in there until Glimmer gets knocked out. Nidoking, Poison Ground type, Poison Point for the ability, Double Kick, Poison Sting, Earthquake, Thrash. In what order? I don't know anymore. Double Kick, Earthquake, Poison Sting, Thrash. Pretty much any order I usually see fit. Thankfully, the Nidoking is less special defensive, so it's going to go down very quickly. Yeah, unfortunately, a water type will pretty much make this entire fight a wash. His last and strongest Pokemon is not what you expect. He sends out Rhyhorn, Rock Ground type, Lightning Rod for the ability, take down Rock Blast, Scary Face, Earthquake. No, I am not kidding. I'm surprised he doesn't have a Rhydon or be more threatened. But besides that, that's pretty much a cakewalk when it comes to gym leaders. His strongest level 50 is a complete and utter wash, literally. So that was it for Giovanni entirely, and he's now done. Ha! That was truly an amazing fight. That's right, you have won. As proof, here is the Earth Badge. Giovanni has been defeated, and we defeated all the 8 gym leaders. 5,000 Poke for winning. The Earth Badge can Pokemon of any level obey without question. It is evidence of your mastery as a Pokemon trainer. With it, you can challenge the Pokemon League. Also, take this TM. Consider it as a gift for your Pokemon League challenge. 26 Earthquake. Earthquake is the most powerful ground type attack in the game. It is a powerful attack that causes a massive tremor. I made it when I was in the gym here far too long ago. Having lost in this fashion, I can't face my followers. I have betrayed their trust. As of today, Team Rocket is finished forever! As for myself, I can dedicate my life to training again. Let's meet again someday. Farewell! He is now gone. You will not see Giovanni again. So, that is it for Team Rocket. They have been stopped once and for all. You have defeated him, managed to stop his evil plans, and conquered all the gym leaders entirely. With that done, we have now finished every single gym in Kanto. So, let's go heal up at the Pokemon Center, and we are going to be healing up and doing something we have not yet done before, because I completely forgot to talk about a few things that we should do. Now, I'm going to be off-screen grinding up levels when the episode's over, because frankly, I really don't need to show random battles if I don't have to. Because frankly, it's not needed in the slightest. Also, there is a move relearner and move deleter, but I'm not going to be using them unless I have to, because some Pokemon moves are needed except for Fly, which is very unneeded. So besides that, though, there is actually somebody here that you want to go to as long as you have Cut. Unfortunately, you don't have Cut. Thankfully, though, you have Surf. Surf pretty much negates the need for using Cut. So let's go to this guy and see what he has to say. Yawn. Just doze off in the sun. I just dream about Drowsy eating my dream. And I learned how to eat dreams. It was so spooky. Let me teach you a Pokemon that can forget about it. So I can forget about it. We're going to move once. Dream Eater is a special attack that affects by sleep status. It's a Psychic-type move, and it hits pretty hard. One problem with it, though. It needs the target to be asleep to do so. I could use a combination of Glimmer and tank strategies to do this, but I'm not going to do it. I recommend, though, if you really want to teach a Pokemon this move and combine it with Hypnosis, please do. I'd actually recommend it. The problem with the move stems from the fact that it's not exactly useful unless I get Tank to keep doing the combo status. Because otherwise, I can't do anything, and it pretty much makes everything obsolete. So, now that we're done with that, I want to take care of a few things. The first thing I want to take care of is the fact we never showed off what would happen if we used the Versus Seeker on anybody, in fact. And it's good for battling and learning training. The item does not work against gym leaders, though, so don't bother trying to use it on a gym leader. It does not work in the slightest. There's actually a Versus Seeker trainers nearby Vermilion City that I'd like to go and talk to. Now, this is Route 6. Let's go and line up and go use the Versus Seeker. Let's go to... Where are you? There you are. Let's use Select. Now, some trainers are hopping up and down. That means they want to battle. And if you battle them, your battery recharges. So, the levels of the battles, however, are very high when they want to. Me? Well, okay, I'll play this once. Watch what happens to their levels. Before, she was like, what? Level 20-something? Pidgeotto. Level 20-something. Yeah, they are higher level than they were last time. The trainers here can keep increasing levels depending on what teams they had, and the stronger they are, the better. The problem is, some trainers are not exactly worth it to fight, but some are absolutely worth it to fight. This one is an example of not fighting them, because frankly, they're not exactly that good in terms of experience-wise nonetheless, but at the same time, I highly recommend, if you want to use your Seeker, use it on trainers that you find later in the adventure. Therefore, you'll get more experience that way. The only issue with this is the fact that a lot of the trainers here are going to be around the level 20s, and they aren't exactly going to be high enough level to actually be fought, usually. You're better off using a move that will... trainers that were actually, stronger. Such as, say, back in the islands, or even when you're going to the next area, use that. Near Cinnabar Island as well is actually a good recommended spot if you want to. They probably have a lot of water-type Pokemon, and if you have an electric type, you pretty much want to send out in one shot. It's a very good strategy to have, and I highly recommend it. They also do keep active even after a battle. So I highly recommend, if you really want to do this, please do, because it's actually a good idea. The only real warning is the fact that some of the battles can reach level 50, so if you're not prepared for it, you're going to be in trouble. Let's see what level Butterfree is. It was a more annoying Pokemon, but now it's just as annoying as normal. It really has not changed much. So, yeah, pretty much. This Butterfree pretty much had only 2 moves and nothing going on with it. Yeah, this is pretty much a wash and a joke. However, I did forget to do something back on the islands we were at before in the Sub Valley Islands, and frankly, we're going to be going there next instead of going to the gym. Now you're probably thinking, going to the Pokemon League. Now you're probably thinking, why the heck am I doing that? Well, there's a reason for this. One of the reasons being that there is a Sub Valley Islands I need to take care of, and we want to boost our level back up. Reason being is the Elite Four are around level 50 and higher. I highly recommend having your team around level 50 before you even go to the Pokemon League, because it's a frankly good idea and safe way. If you use Surf here, by the way, and if you go in the water, there are going to be Pokemon in the water, of course, nonetheless, there is a hidden grotto area behind here. Treasure Beach is home to, well, Pokemon. Hey, lying back, rocked by the waves, is exquisite. There's also some trainers here, but they're not exactly that important compared to Treasure Beach. Maria sends out Seal, pretty much not much of an issue. Thankfully, though, their levels are around level 30s, which means it's good experience grinding for you if you want to prepare for the league. And I'd highly recommend going here to prepare, because if you're not prepared for them, they're going to wipe you out in one shot. Especially one of the certain other Elite Four members that have, well, no really big weaknesses. When my team is very structurally balanced, they have some problems, such as the fact that my moves right now are not exactly the best. Thankfully, though, this battle won't take too long. I just want to show off Treasure Beach, and then we're going to end it off here and go check out the next area. That's all I'm going to do, because, frankly, the episode's getting long, and while I do admit I'm trying to go back to longer episodes, not really too concerned when it comes to dang fights in this area. To be honest, though, I do want to do longer episodes again. Frankly honest, I do want to. But at the same time, don't have much time to do it. I lost. It feels awful. Yes, it does. You should feel ashamed. Sea is pleasantly warm in these parts. Maybe you should let something out. So, there is actually items that you can find with the item finder around this area. It's random completely. It has separate groups. Highest odds you're going to get, though, are likely Ultra Balls. However, even better odds you can get, some of them are even, well, money opportunities for you. There is somebody here, but I really don't want to worry about it. Ultra Ball. Okay, there's only one. Nope, no response. That's not good. You can actually go inward more and actually find more items for the item radar. If you manage to find it just right. Well, I found a Persian. Whoop-de-freaking-do. I did not even want to fight a Persian. Alright, let's try it again and see where the item is. I think it's over to my left. Well, my left, not your left. Nope. Okay. Why are you down here? Found another Ultra Ball. Okay, I guess I got the lowest odds, because the lowest odds is those two. 2 Ultra Balls is... Huh. Found a Fleero. That's rare. But I don't need it. Honestly speaking, I'm not really remotely interested in Fleero. No response. Good things get washed up on the ocean ground in this beach. That's why I often come here to some beach climbing. Yep, that's a pretty interesting statement. There is nothing new for these Pokemon that are around here, and I frankly will not recommend going here for any Pokemon that you particularly want unless you decide to go fishing, which are decent Pokemon nonetheless. Now, we did not really check out much of the 2 Island either, but at the same time, I'm not exactly concerned with it. So, next time on Pokemon LeafGreen, though, we will be going to the right and actually checking out a route leading to something that's a little bit kindling. See you all next time.